Today, we're breaking down the incredible world of clothing resale, where people are literally turning secondhand clothes into serious, life-changing money. So let's just kick things off with a number, a really big one, $120,000. Yep, that's what one reseller pulled in a single month. And get this, he'd only been in the business for about a year. It sounds absolutely insane, but it just shows you the mind-blowing potential we're talking about here. And this quote right here, it gets to the heart of why this is exploding. Now, hitting those huge numbers takes work, for sure. But the barrier to entry? It's basically zero. With Americans throwing out over 90 million pounds of clothes every single day, the potential inventory is just endless. Okay, so let's get into the how. Before you even think about buying a single t-shirt, all the pros say you need a plan. Because if you just jump in blind, you're gonna end up with a mountain of clothes you can't sell. Trust me. You've basically got two main ways to play this game. On one hand, you can go for high volume. It's a numbers game. You sell a ton of stuff for smaller, steady profits. On the other hand, you can be a high-profit treasure hunter, searching for that one amazing find that makes your week. One isn't better than the other, they just require totally different game plans. And this is where you have to be really honest with yourself. What actually fits your life? Do you live near Goodwill bins where you can buy clothes by the pound? Or do you love fashion and get a thrill from finding a hidden gem? Choosing the path that lines up with your life is like the most important first step. All right, so you've picked a model. Now it's time to actually do something. But the advice from every single expert is the same. You gotta start small. This is just brilliant. Your first source of inventory should be your own closet. You get to learn the whole process, taking pictures, writing descriptions, shipping, all with zero financial risk. You're literally just turning clutter into cash and getting a free education. Okay, now for a perfect example of finding treasure where nobody else is looking. This story is all about making a profit from a really simple and surprisingly common mistake. $471. That's the net profit from flipping just 2 pairs of sneakers. And the reason he found this incredible deal? A simple spelling error. So here's the secret sauce. It's all about finding these little glitches in the market. The original seller misspelled Balenciaga, which meant almost no one saw the ad. Our reseller, he intentionally searched for common misspellings. It's such a clever trick to find deals that are practically invisible to everyone else. Here's another amazing story, but this one isn't about typos. It's about something even easier, just following directions. So get this, a guy found an antique Louis Vuitton garment bag for just 20 bucks. The seller had one rule in her ad, call, don't text. Out of 15 people who were interested, he was the only one who actually picked up the phone. That one simple action landed him 180 bucks in profit. Okay, so you found some stuff. Maybe you've even made a few sales. That's awesome. But how do you turn this from a fun hobby into a real, repeatable system that actually makes you money? I love this. Think of your business as having 4 main dials you can turn. If you're not hitting your goals, you don't just work harder. You figure out which dial to adjust. Can you source cheaper to lower your cost of goods? Or maybe focus on better brands to crank up that average sale price? It's about working smarter. And look, none of those dials matter if your listings are junk. Great photos are absolutely non-negotiable. And your title is everything. Jacket is not going to cut it. But vintage Columbia parka, military jacket, now you're going to attract the right buyer who's willing to pay top dollar. And you have to know your numbers from day one. It's so easy to sell something and feel great, but then you forget about the platform fees, the shipping costs, and suddenly your profit isn't what you thought it was. Tracking every penny is the only way you'll know if you're actually winning. So once you have your system working and you're making consistent profit, it's time to think bigger. And growth in this business really comes down to one thing: sourcing better stuff and more of it. Your sourcing is going to evolve. You'll start with free stuff from your own house. Then you'll graduate to flea markets and thrift stores. Pretty soon, you'll be hitting the Goodwill bins and buying clothes by the pound. And if you get big enough, you can literally start buying pallets or even entire truckloads of inventory. And to scale without losing your mind, a ton of resellers swear by the 80-20 rule. This means 80% of your stores should be your bread and butter items, the reliable stuff that sells consistently and keeps the cash flowing. The other 20%? That's for the home runs, the rare, high-profit finds that are the cherry on top. Now, most people think scaling means you have to hire someone, but the pros say Hold on, resist that urge. Before you ever bring another person into your business, you need to make your own process as lean and efficient as humanly possible. Real growth isn't some giant leap, it's a constant cycle. You dig into your numbers. You find one small way to get 5% more efficient. You invest in a cheap time saver like a label printer. And then you do it all over again, week after week. That's how you really build something big. So we've seen the potential, and we've laid out the plan. It shows that this incredibly scalable business can start today with one single item you don't even wear anymore. So the only real question is, what are you waiting for?